Our goal is not just simply to make our grids larger, but to make them smarter, more stable, and climate resilient. Just as critical as energy is, the future of Africa's mineral wealth is more critical to us. Nigeria is home to over 40 types of minerals, including gold, lithium, tin, coal, and rare earth elements. A few of these resources are central to the global energy transition. Yet, they often remain unprocessed on our shores. This is the paradox that we must confront. Africa has been a supplier of raw materials for far too long. And of course, in doing so, we forfeited jobs, industrial growth, and absolute economic sovereignty. This must end now. The actual value of our minerals lies not in the dust and rock, but in the refined products, batteries, alloys, steel, and technologies that emerge when we process them ourselves locally. Our campaign for value addition, therefore, began with a renewed consciousness to preserve and maximize our mineral wealth, thereby gaining more market value and translating to a better life for our people. This campaign is the reason for the foundation and formation of the Africa Mineral Strategy Group, the influential association of mining ministers in Africa, which I have the privilege of chairing. At our 6th interministerial meeting recently, we took far-reaching decisions on the need to further regulate the exports of raw minerals by insisting on processing them before exportation. Significantly, the MSG also considered a proposal that I laid before the meeting to adopt and apply the recently developed African Mineral and Energy Resources Classification and Management System, acronym AMREC, and the Pan-African Resources Reporting Code, PAC. This capacity building initiative is good news for Africa. It provides a mineral resource reporting framework across the continent, boosts investor confidence, promotes comparative evaluation of assets, and increases access to development financing. Africa's mining ministers have resolved to push this code and ensure that the framework is used for reporting geological exploration on public and private sector projects within their jurisdictions. The AMREC PAC framework represents a very significant step forward in Africa's Geological Survey Institution's efforts to develop a homegrown certification regime of all systems and compete effectively with the certification regimes of other countries and other continents. I want to recommend it to all participants here formally, and very soon we shall table the appropriate regulations to compel compliance. We shall also brief the National Assembly in Nigeria to ensure that it forms part of the ongoing review of Nigeria's mineral laws. And thanks to the renewed hope agenda of our president, we have implemented sweeping reforms to formalize mining and boost domestic value addition. In 2023 alone, the Ministry of Solid Minerals launched a 7-point agenda focused on formalization and value addition in mining. New policies now require every mining license to include a plan for local processing, and we have increased enforcement in this area. These changes have spurred a surge of investment and revenue. Last year, Nigeria's mining sector secured over $800 million in investment for processing projects, while government revenues jumped and increased significantly. Specifically, the sector revenues rose from 6 billion naira, which was recorded in 2023, to 38 billion naira in 2024. This six-fold jump reflects tight licensing, a crackdown on illegal mining, and a policy that promotes mineral processing in line with value addition. Licensing has expanded sharply under the reforms. In Q1 of 2025 alone, the Mining Cadastral Office processed 955 title applications, and we approved 867 new mining licenses, 512 exploration titles, 295 small-scale licenses and leases, and 60 quarry leases, and 5 large mining leases. These licensing fees generated about 7 billion for the government in just 3 months of this year. This aggressive licensing drive, we've recorded over 10,000 applications in just 1 quarter, combined with compliance and checks, is a key reason for the revenue increases. The government has commissioned Nigeria's first domestic lithium processing plant. For example, we inaugurated a $100 million lithium battery plant, the Avatar Energy, in Nasarawa State in May of 2024, with a daily capacity of 4,000 tons, expected to generate 4,000 jobs as well. More plants are coming online as we speak. A $600 million lithium plant near the Kaduna-Niger border, to be commissioned very shortly by the president, and a $200 million refinery on Abuja's outskirts are in advanced stages. Our regulation now is there will be no new mining licenses issued without a local processing plan, ensuring that these investments retain value in country. To leverage its lithium and other minerals, Nigeria is fostering the battery and electric vehicle industries. NASENI and the Rural Electrification Agency signed a $150 million deal in 2023 to build a lithium ore battery manufacturing and processing factory. This initiative is part of the COP28 climate partnership, which will produce batteries domestically and contribute to job creation, economic growth, and the extractive industry in Nigeria. Likewise, plans are underway to establish electric vehicle assembly plants in Nigeria. And as I once stated, with abundant lithium, the goal is to see local manufacturing of electric vehicles and batteries here in Nigeria. These steps anchor Nigeria deeper in the electric vehicle battery supply chain and create high-skilled jobs locally. And to cap it all, we recently announced plans to build Africa's largest rare earths and critical minerals elements production facility here in Nigeria at a whopping sum of $400 million This is direct foreign investment that is coming in. And this is by Hastings Limited. We are confident that this project will meet its construction target, as the company already has installed capacity for 6,000 metric tons and is adding a capacity to produce an additional 12,000 metric tons. It also complements the government's poverty reduction and employment policies by developing a system that will engage over 10,000 Nigerians in artisanal mining jobs. All of these reforms are explicitly aimed at jobs and local value. For example, the Nasarawa lithium plant alone is expected to employ thousands of people, and the battery projects will require the hiring of engineers and technicians. On the artisanal mining side, our formalization programs have organized over 250 mining cooperatives, absorbing tens of thousands of informal miners into the formal economy of Nigeria. These cooperatives provide access to credit, training, and guaranteed purchasing, dramatically improving the miners' incomes. Across the continent, we must replicate this shift. We should be building green industrial zones where gas becomes fertilizer, limestone becomes cement, and lithium becomes battery storage. The Dangote industrial complexes in Nigeria already demonstrate what is possible when we prioritize local content and integrate value chains. Let us therefore establish more such investments across Africa, not just in one city or in one country, but in every region. To achieve this, we require African capital and ownership. And that is why in Nigeria we have the Solid Minerals Development Fund to support small-scale miners, build critical infrastructure, and mitigate investment risk in exploration and processing. And that is why we are establishing the Nigerian Solid Minerals Company as a special purpose vehicle to attract the big players, global players, into our solid minerals sector. And that is why you and I are attending these AFNIs. We are now attending these AFNIs to create a sustainable and profitable future for our natural resources. The launch of the Africans for Africa Fund under AFNIs further reinforces this agenda. We want to see our pension funds, banks, and sovereign funds investing in extractive future. When Africans own the value chain, the benefits surely will multiply. Let this summit, therefore, be the place where bold commitments are made and where value addition becomes a shared continental goal. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, as we invite investment, we must be clear. We are not looking for charity, nor are we outsourcing our development. We welcome partners, those who see Africa not just as a source of raw materials, but as a destination for innovation, manufacturing, and shared value. We seek partnerships that are fair. We seek partnerships that are fair, transparent, and founded on mutual respect. This means joint ventures where African companies and communities have real equity. It means insisting on local content policies that foster skills development and supply chain growth. It means securing fair financing so we are not burdened with unsustainable debt, but instead empowered to co-create prosperity for all. Nigeria is very proud to have collaborated with regional partners such as the African Finance Corporation to de-risk projects in mining and infrastructure. Such a model where African institutions finance African priorities must be scaled up all across the continent of Africa. The future of this continent will not be written in Washington or Beijing. It will be written in Abuja, in Cairo, in Addis Ababa, in Pretoria, in Kinshasa, and other African cities. Excellencies and colleagues and friends, the time to act is now. Let us not speak of Africa as a continent of problems, but we speak of Africa as a continent of possibilities. Let this summit in Abuja be remembered as a moment when African ambition was matched with action, when we came together not as individual nations, but as a unified bloc determined to build a new chapter of industrial power and energy sovereignty. As Patrice Lumumba once said, Africa will write its own history. I, Dele Alake, I now say, Africa must write its own history. And let us ensure that it is a history of dignity, of enterprise, of transformation. And here in Abuja, let us all raise our collective voice, commit to real change, and begin building a future powered by African minerals, fueled by African energy, and led by the African resolve. Nigeria stands ready. Let us move forward together. Thank you very much.
Please, let's do better for the Honorable Minister and our Chief Host of AFNIS 2025. That was indeed